Darrell bowed and departed in haste. Through the halls of the castle he strode, and the palace guards, standing at their posts, saluted him as he passed in his gray wolf uniform. Soon he came into the entrance of the wizard's tower, and there he saw standing beside the guards a young woman of great beauty, with silky red hair, clad in green and gold robes, such as an apprentice of the wizarding arts might wear. Darrell was surprised, for he had not heard that Frederick had taken any apprentice. She stepped toward him and spoke in a voice clear and confident. "Well met, Paladin Darrell. My name is Fiona Strikeshire. I shall lead you to the royal wizard Frederick." At the hearing of her name, Darrell felt some slight unease, though he knew not why. She turned, passed into the tower, glancing once over her shoulder to see if he followed, began climbing the winding stair. High above in his chamber, Frederick sat in the great oaken table, bent over a vast leather-bound tome. He tugged at his white beard and sighed heavily, for he had hoped to find among the ancient writings some clue to the vanishing of the palace guards. Yet nowhere had he found aught that gave answer. For his long years and much learned wisdom, he felt now strangely helpless. As he rose to fetch another book from the shelves, Fiona entered, and behind her came Darrell.
Paladin Darrell,
said Frederick.
I am glad that indeed that you have come. Have been unable to discover any cause of the mysterious disappearances, and I hope that your coming may help uncover what evil has fallen upon us.
He motioned for Darrell to be seated, and Fiona drew up a chair to the table. When they had settled, Darrell asked,
"What can you tell me about what has happened? I have heard only a rumor, but the royal guards vanished with leave no sign behind."
Frederick looked down upon the open tome.
"It is sadly true. 12 guards have disappeared. No clue remains to tell how or why. So if some sorcery is at work, it is of a kind of which I find no record of in the ancient lore."
Then he leaned toward Darrell and spoke more softly.
"The king would keep this matter hidden, yet secrecy cannot endure. We must know whether some enemy assails Oposa from without or within. Young Paladin, all the kingdom knows of your great deeds. We have need of you now."
Darrell spread his hands.
"I have no gift for magic. How am I to aid a thing? Though you yourself may not wield the arts,"
said Frederick.
"your friends are not without power. Those who helped you free the tar possess gifts that may avail us. I ask that you gather them. Even were I able to do so,"
said Darrell.
"it would take time. How have we such time left?"
As he spoke, Fiona came bearing a tray with 2 goblets. She set one before Frederick and one before Darrell. "Some drink, my lord," she said. Darrell took the goblet, but as he did so, he looked closely upon her face.
"My bless,"
he said. She smiled only slightly, and again strange unease touched him. Turning back to Frederick, he asked,
"And when did you decide to take an apprentice?"
Frederick sighed.
"After the Great War with the Demon King Forgan, I came to know that I was no longer strong enough to guard King Zalgus and his house as I ought. I told the king that I would retire, but he begged for me to remain until one might be found to exceed me. Then Queen Valise was taken, and again I had failed. Fiona came to me asking to be my apprentice. I was at first unwilling, but yet she desired to remain while I searched for a replacement. And to my surprise, she has shown no little to in skill of the working of magic.
Daryl considered this in silence and then asked,
How fares your search for one to take your place? Poorly,
said Frederick.
And that is why I need you. Or we are under assault, and I am powerless to see the hand behind it. Therefore, I beg you to seek out your companions and bring aid you can.
Daryl saw the grief and weariness in the wizard's eyes, and he was moved.
I shall depart at once. It may take some days, or I return. Then hasten,
said Frederick. Daryl rose, nodded to Fiona, and made to depart. But then Frederick said suddenly,
Take Fiona with you in my stead. She must go. She knows all that I know of the attacks.
Daryl's mouth curved in a faint, doubtful smile.
As you wish.
Then he turned to Fiona.
Meet me at the Ogre's Fall Tavern at sunset.
Leaving the tower, Daryl resolved to seek Kira, for he wished to speak with her before Fiona arrived. So he hastened through the town and came swiftly to the Ogre Fall Tavern. Entering beneath its dim beams, he saw Kira standing behind the bar, and to his great surprise, Extar was there, wiping down a table with quiet diligence. As Daryl drew near, a familiar voice rang out behind him.
Well, Wolf Boy, you remember me?
He turned at once, and then there stood Zala, smiling at him. That's
Oops,
it.